The year was 1983. The Los Angeles Raiders had just won the Super Bowl, and Marcus Allen was on top of the world. A Super Bowl MVP, a record-setting running back, and the face of the franchise. He was destined to be a lifelong Raiders legend, or so everyone thought. But behind the scenes, a silent war was brewing. A war between Allen and one of the most powerful men in football, Al Davis. No one saw it coming. How did Allen go from being the heart of the Raiders to being humiliated, benched, and blackballed by his own team? What really happened between him and Davis? And why did he have to get his revenge wearing the jersey of the Raiders' biggest rival? This is the untold story of Marcus Allen's betrayal, downfall, and ultimate redemption. And once you hear it all, you will never look at the Raiders the same way again. The rise of a Raiders superstar. A star is born. Marcus Allen was not just another football player. He was special from the start. Born in San Diego, California in 1960, Allen's athletic ability was evident from an early age. He played multiple positions in high school, including quarterback, safety, and running back. But it was at the University of Southern California, USC, where he truly began to shine. At USC, Allen played under legendary coach John Robinson, and by his senior year, he had cemented himself as one of the greatest college running backs of all time. In 1981, he rushed for an astonishing 2,342 yards, becoming the first player in NCAA history to rush for over 2,000 yards in a single season. His dominance earned him the Heisman Trophy, an honor that made him a top prospect heading into the 1982 NFL Draft. Drafted by the Raiders, a perfect match? With the 10th overall pick in the 1982 NFL Draft, the Los Angeles Raiders selected Marcus Allen. At first, it seemed like a dream pairing. The Raiders were a hard-nosed physical football team, and Allen was a tough, intelligent, and dynamic running back who could do it all. Allen immediately made an impact. Despite a shortened rookie season due to a player's strike, he still managed to win NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year, rushing for 697 yards and 11 touchdowns in just 9 games. The Raiders had found their next superstar, Super Bowl glory and superstardom. By his second season, Allen was unstoppable. In 1983, he led the Raiders to Super Bowl 18 against the Washington Redskins. On the biggest stage, he delivered one of the most iconic performances in NFL history. Allen rushed for 191 yards and 2 touchdowns, including a breathtaking 74-yard touchdown run where he reversed field and weaved through defenders with grace and power. The play became one of the most famous runs in Super Bowl history, and Allen was named Super Bowl MVP as the Raiders dominated Washington 38-9. At just 23 years old, Marcus Allen had already etched his name in NFL history. He was a Super Bowl champion, a rising superstar, and the face of the Raiders franchise. But little did he know, the very team he had just carried to glory would one day turn its back on him. The feud begins. Al Davis turns on Marcus Allen, a fractured relationship. For most players, winning a Super Bowl MVP cements their legacy and guarantees them a long, successful career with their team. But for Marcus Allen, it marked the beginning of the end in Los Angeles. Despite his dominance on the field, Raiders owner Al Davis slowly began to turn against him. At first, it was subtle, small disagreements, a lack of public praise, but soon it escalated into a full-blown feud that would define both of their careers. What went wrong? So why did Al Davis, one of the most powerful men in the NFL, turn against his star player? There were several theories. Power struggle. Davis ran the Raiders like a kingdom, and Allen was becoming too big of a star. He was charismatic, well-spoken, and respected across the league. Some believed Davis saw him as a threat to his authority. Contract disputes. Allen wanted to be paid like one of the top running backs in the league. Davis, known for being stubborn in contract negotiations, refused to give in. Personal grudges. Some speculated there was something deeper between the two. Davis had always been unpredictable, and once he set his mind against someone, there was no changing it. Allen's role diminishes. By 1986, it was clear something was wrong. Allen, still in his prime, saw his role in the offense reduced. Despite being one of the best running backs in the league, he was getting fewer carries. The media began asking questions, but Davis refused to explain. In 1988, things took a shocking turn. Allen, the former Super Bowl MVP, was benched in favor of Bo Jackson, a two-sport athlete who was also playing baseball. While Jackson was undeniably talented, many saw this as a power move by Davis, a way to humiliate Allen and push him out of the spotlight. A public war of words. Frustrated, Allen finally spoke out. In 1992, he made a shocking statement on national television, revealing that Davis had been intentionally trying to ruin his career. He told reporters that Davis had been holding him back out of spite, keeping him off the field just to prove a point. For a franchise that prided itself on loyalty and toughness, this was a stunning revelation. The feud between Marcus Allen and Al Davis was no longer behind closed doors. It was now one of the most public, bitter conflicts in NFL history. But things were only going to get worse. Allen's days with the Raiders were numbered, and he would soon make a move that would shock the entire football world. The prime years wasted, Allen's mysterious benchings, a superstar sidelined. Marcus Allen was not just another running back. He was a Super Bowl MVP, a league MVP, and the heart of the Raiders offense. He had carried the team to glory, making some of the most iconic plays in franchise history. But then something strange happened. Despite still being in his prime, Allen barely saw the field. He went from being the team's best player to riding the bench, watching from the sidelines as lesser players took his spot. No injuries, no decline in skill, no explanation. Raiders fans were confused, and the media demanded answers. A silent feud turns public. At first, Allen did not say much, but over time, he began dropping hints that something deeper was happening behind the scenes. In interviews, he suggested that he was being blackballed by Al Davis. Davis, however, refused to explain. He never gave a clear reason for why Allen's playing time had been drastically reduced. He simply ignored the questions and let the situation get worse. Humiliation on the field. Allen's limited playing time was not just about football, it was personal. In one game, the Raiders had first and goal on the 1-yard line, Allen's specialty. But instead of calling his number, the coaching staff sent in Bo Jackson, who was still new to the team. The message was clear. Marcus Allen was no longer the future of the Raiders. What was Davis's true motive? Fans and analysts speculated about why Davis had turned against Allen. Some believed it was because Allen wanted a new contract, and Davis saw it as a betrayal. Others thought it was because of off-field power struggles. Davis never liked players who questioned his authority. Whatever the reason, one thing was clear. Al Davis was punishing one of the greatest players in Raiders history, and it was only the beginning of what would become one of the most bitter feuds in NFL history. The breaking point. Allen exposes the betrayal. Allen finally speaks out. For years, Marcus Allen took the high road. He avoided controversy, kept his frustrations to himself, and did not openly criticize the Raiders. But everyone has a breaking point, and Allen finally reached his. In a shocking interview, he exposed the truth, or at least his side of it. He did not hold back. Al Davis has been trying to destroy me for years. He is doing everything he can to ruin my career. With those words, the feud between Allen and Davis was no longer a secret. It was out in the open for the entire football world to see. A threat to Davis's power. But why would Al Davis, the man who built the Raiders into an NFL powerhouse, go out of his way to sabotage his own star player? Many believe that Davis saw Allen as a threat. Allen was not just a great player, he was a leader. He was respected in the locker room. He was beloved by fans. He had the charisma and intelligence to become bigger than the Raiders themselves. And if there was one thing Al Davis hated, it was losing control. Some insiders believe Davis feared that Allen would challenge his authority or demand more power within the organization. Instead of embracing Allen as the future of the franchise, Davis chose to cut him down before he could rise any further. The media takes over. Fans turn on Davis. Allen's bombshell comments set the sports world on fire. Reporters and analysts demanded answers. Raiders fans, once fiercely loyal to Davis, began to question his decisions. Why would he destroy the career of a player who had given everything to the franchise? Was it pride, ego, a personal grudge? Whatever the reason, one thing was now obvious. Marcus Allen and Al Davis were at war, and it was a war that would end with Allen being forced to make the most painful decision of his career, one that no Raiders fan ever saw coming. Marcus Allen joins the Chiefs, the ultimate revenge, the final betrayal. Allen leaves for the enemy. For years, Marcus Allen had been pushed aside, benched, and humiliated by the Raiders organization. He had endured silent treatment, mysterious benchings, and outright disrespect from Al Davis. But in 1993, he had finally had enough. When Allen became a free agent, he did the one thing that no Raiders fan ever expected. He signed with the Kansas City Chiefs. Not just any team, the Raiders' most hated rival. To many, it felt like a final act of defiance. If Al Davis wanted him gone, Allen would make sure he paid for it. And what better way to do that than by suiting up for the enemy? The revenge game. Was it personal? Allen may have been too professional to admit it outright, but everyone knew his matchups against the Raiders were deeply personal. When he faced his former team for the first time in a Chiefs uniform, he did not hold back. He ran harder, faster, and stronger than he had in years. Every carry, every touchdown felt like a direct message to Al Davis. You tried to bury me, but I am still here. And in a poetic moment of pure football justice, Allen scored a touchdown against the Raiders in his very first game against them. As he crossed the goal line, the statement was clear. Al Davis may have pushed him out, but he was far from finished, proving he had plenty left in the tank. Many thought Allen's best days were behind him when he left the Raiders, but in Kansas City, he proved otherwise. 1993 Comeback Player of the year. Double-digit touchdowns in multiple seasons, a key piece in the Chiefs' playoff runs. Even at an age when most running backs had long retired, Allen continued to shine. He may have worn red and gold instead of silver and black, but he never lost the fire that made him a Raiders legend. But the feud between Allen and Davis was far from over. Even in retirement, the tension never truly faded. And when it came time for Allen's legacy to be honored, there was one final twist to their bitter rivalry. Life after the feud. Did time heal the wounds? Did Marcus Allen and Al Davis ever make peace? For years, the tension between Marcus Allen and Al Davis never faded. Even as Allen thrived with the Kansas City Chiefs and later retired as one of the most respected running backs in NFL history, the wounds from his feud with Davis remained open. Unlike other legendary Raiders, Allen was never welcomed back into the organization. There were no heartfelt reunions, no public gestures of reconciliation. Al Davis was a man known for holding grudges until the very end, and with Allen, it was no different. But as time passed, some hoped that the bad blood would eventually be set aside. Did it happen? Not exactly. While Allen never spoke with bitterness in his later years, he also never received a true olive branch from the Raiders. Even after Davis' passing in 2011, the relationship between Allen and the franchise remained complicated. Marcus Allen's legacy with the Raiders, do fans still love him? Despite the ugly feud with Al Davis, Raiders fans never turned on Marcus Allen. To them, he was still the Super Bowl MVP, the electrifying running back who gave them unforgettable moments. The fans understood that his conflict was with Davis, not the team, not the fan base. Over the years, Allen gradually found his way back into the Raiders' orbit. He attended Raiders-related events and even reunited with former teammates at ceremonies and reunions. However, there was always an unspoken tension. He was a Raiders legend who had been exiled, and that exile was never truly lifted. The feud's impact on his Hall of Fame journey. For a player of his caliber, over 12,000 rushing yards, a Super Bowl ring, multiple Pro Bowls, and MVP awards, Marcus Allen should have been an easy first-ballot Hall of Famer. Yet some believe his feud with Al Davis may have delayed his Hall of Fame induction. Allen was eligible in 2000, but he did not get in until 2003. While 3 years is not an extreme delay, some insiders believe that Davis' influence in league circles played a role. Regardless, when Allen was finally inducted, it was on his terms. He did not shy away from his Raiders legacy, nor did he ignore the painful past. Instead, he chose to focus on his impact on the game, leaving behind a career that stood the test of time, despite the betrayals, despite the conflicts. But even after he reached the Hall of Fame, one question remained unanswered. Would the Raiders ever truly embrace Marcus Allen again? Marcus Allen's painful goodbye, was it justified? Marcus Allen was more than just a great player. He was a Raiders icon, the heart and soul of the franchise, the man who delivered a Super Bowl victory with one of the most unforgettable runs in NFL history. But instead of retiring in silver and black, he walked away wearing the colors of the Kansas City Chiefs, the Raiders' sworn enemy. It was a bitter ending to what should have been a legendary career in Oakland and Los Angeles. But was it inevitable? Was Al Davis justified in the way he treated Allen? Or was this a case of pure ego destroying one of the greatest legacies in Raiders history? The unfinished chapter. Despite all the drama, Marcus Allen remained one of the most respected players in NFL history. He was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2003, solidifying his place among the all-time greats. But even in his speech, there was an air of sadness, because no matter how much he accomplished, the feud with Al Davis would always be a dark cloud over his Raiders legacy. Did time heal the wounds? Not exactly. While Allen was eventually welcomed back into the Raiders family, the relationship between him and Davis never truly recovered. Davis took his grudge to the grave, passing away in 2011 without ever making amends with the man he once called his franchise player. A cautionary tale for the Raiders? The story of Marcus Allen is more than just a personal rivalry. It is a lesson for the Raiders organization. How many championships were lost because of this feud? How much damage did this unnecessary war cause? And did the franchise make the same mistakes in the years that followed? For Raiders fans, this betrayal still stings. Many still wonder what could have been if Davis and Allen had worked together instead of tearing each other apart. What do you think? Now it is your turn. Was Al Davis justified in turning his back on Marcus Allen, or was this a personal vendetta that went too far? Do you think the Raiders wasted Allen's prime years, or was there more to the story than we will ever know? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. And if you want to hear more shocking and untold stories from Raiders history, check out our other videos. You will not want to miss them.